In football history, one single action has been replayed more than almost any goal ever scored. Not because it won a match, not because it lifted a trophy, but because it ended the greatest career in French football, in real time, in front of the entire world. In the 110th minute of a World Cup final, Zinedine Zidane made a choice that froze the planet. This is the true story, fact by fact, behind the most shocking moment the World Cup has ever seen. By 2006, Zidane had already achieved football immortality. World Cup winner in 1998, European champion in 2000, Ballon d'Or winner. A player defined by elegance, control, intelligence. And this tournament was supposed to be his goodbye. Zidane had announced his retirement before the World Cup even began. This wasn't a comeback, this was an ending. France didn't arrive as favorites, they arrived doubted. Zidane was 34 years old, carrying injuries, criticized heavily by the French media. Too old, too slow, too emotional. But under pressure, Zidane didn't fade. He dominated Spain in the round of 16, controlled Brazil in the quarterfinals, orchestrated Portugal in the semifinals. By the time France reached the final, it was clear. Zidane wasn't just playing football, he was dragging France forward with authority. One match remained. July 9th, 2006. Olympic Stadium, Berlin. France versus Italy, the World Cup final. 7 minutes in, France were awarded a penalty. Zidane stepped up, and instead of power, instead of safety, he chipped it. A Panenka. The ball struck the crossbar, bounced down, and crossed the line. France led 1-0. It was audacious, borderline reckless, completely Zidane. But Italy responded. From a corner kick, Marco Materazzi rose above the defense and headed the equalizer. 1-1. From that moment, the match changed. It became physical, aggressive, psychological. Fouls piled up. Shirts were pulled, words were exchanged. This final was no longer about tactics. It was about survival. As the match moved into extra time, bodies were breaking down. But the real battle wasn't happening on the ball. Zidane and Materazzi clashed repeatedly. Subtle pushes, jersey pulls, quiet insults. Then, away from the cameras, Materazzi crossed a line. He insulted Zidane's sister. This isn't rumor. In 2007, Materazzi admitted it publicly. For Zidane, a man deeply rooted in family, pride, and respect, this wasn't trash talk. It was personal. Zidane walked away, but the words stayed, and seconds later, everything stopped. Zidane slowed his walk. He turned around. There was no argument, no warning. He leaned forward and drove his head straight into Materazzi's chest. The impact dropped Materazzi to the ground. The stadium went silent. Zidane didn't run, he didn't protest. He walked away. The referee hadn't seen it, but the fourth official had. Moments later, Zidane was shown a red card. Zinedine Zidane's final action as a professional footballer was walking past the World Cup trophy, without ever touching it. France were suddenly leaderless. The final went to penalties. Italy won the World Cup. But the night didn't belong to Italy. It belonged to Zidane. Television networks replayed the incident over and over. Fans were split instantly. Some called it a disgrace. Others said it was provoked. Many understood it as human. 3 days later, Zidane spoke publicly. He apologized to fans, he apologized to children watching, but he refused to apologize to Materazzi, and he made one thing clear. He did not regret defending his family. That sentence changed everything. Before that night, Zidane's career felt almost perfect, elegant, controlled, untouchable. After the headbutt, his legacy became complicated. To critics, he ruined his ending. To supporters, he revealed who he truly was. A genius pushed beyond restraint. A man who chose pride over silence, even at the cost of everything. The moment became history. It was turned into statues, referenced in films, debated endlessly. Very few moments in football live forever. This one does because it wasn't scripted. It was raw. Zinedine Zidane could have lifted the World Cup that night. Instead, he walked away in silence, not as a perfect hero, but as a real one. And maybe that's why, nearly 20 years later, the world still talks about the night Zidane snapped. Subscribe for more of sports' most viral moments in history.